Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2, reviewing episode 2 of the Starstruck for Stargirl. My name is Cleve.
I'm Michael.
This is Stephanie.
All right, guys. Episode 2 came out. We have some more answers than last time. How does everybody feel?
Feel fantastic.
Feel good?
I like this one. I like this one. I will say I have not grown to enjoy Courtney yet. She is really independent and needy, and it's annoying me. She's like
a teenager.
I
She's
know,
mastered
man.
the independent but whiny.
I was gonna ask you, like, as our only female that we ever talked to ever, is that a normal thing to be like, I could do it by myself, and then be like, I need help immediately?
That's probably a normal teenage girl thing. Yeah.
Because I was like, you're like, I'm gonna take it on myself, and then you're like, Pat, he threatened me. He threatened my mom. Please come back. I need you, Pat. Like, what happened? I thought you were a big bad. I found out that the robot wasn't the car. A little disappointing.
Yeah, I assumed it wasn't that car. I'm glad it was a different car because,
Well, it's not a car
Oh.
at all. It's just car parts, right?
Oh, you were just wanting it to be a transformer?
Yes.
I don't know that I understood that, but okay. I could have been on board with
Just
that.
because he could be driving, and then it's like, oh, time to get to work, and then it just kind of conform around him.
That would pose a lot of interesting things that could have happened.
They'd have to spend more of their CGI budget that they're going to use every single
That's
episode.
true. I mean, you could just be him, and then a green screen behind him. I like that the scissors couldn't cut the material. I thought that was cool.
But then paper cutter could. Like, I didn't understand that.
Right?
So yeah,
Stronger metal.
She makes her costume out of the old costume, and yeah, she destroys a bunch of different things doing it. So it's supposed to be like, oh, this is resistant material, but not that resistant. It's like crazy.
You get her fully stacked up, and I mean full costume. I don't know if I like the mask.
No, I liked it.
Her face looks squished.
Okay with the mask.
Her cheeks are.
Costume is a little weird.
I don't like the 15-year-old showing her midriff. Settle down.
I think it's
All
just.
right, Mr. 1950s.
I'm just saying, man.
I think it's. I mean, the crop top is fine. I understand why, because it's in style, but it's not. What's the word? Functional. It's not functional.
Right.
Perhaps you've never seen a RPG video game where obviously a bikini is the most protective armor you could possibly get.
Yes,
But
also we're in 2020 now, where we can use some functional female outfits, and her midriff is. I don't know how it wasn't scraped on that sidewalk.
Right. What you're telling me is I should just stab you in the stomach.
No. You see, do you remember the story Emperor's New Clothes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that. There's really clothing there. You just don't see it.
Like, Stripey, hug me in the center so that I'm safe in that spot.
Something I thought was interesting from the last episode that I didn't put together and I put together since, because he said at one point in time, Stripey, but what's his actual name?
Pat?
Pat, thank you. At one point in time, she's like, tell me more about the staff. And he's like, I don't know. Starman didn't know either. Some guy named Ted Knight made it. So Ted Knight's the original Starman, by the way, and did derive all of his powers from this staff. Had no other power, was not anything. But the more interesting thing to me was actually Sylvester Pemberton is the name of the Starman in this show.
Mm-hmm.
That's who Joe McHale plays, and he actually was a Star-Spangled Kid in the comic book universe, which they said that's who he was and then became Starman.
Yes.
And that apparently never happens. He is Star-Spangled Kid and then later on becomes somebody else, and I can't remember the name.
What a weird thing to make up for the show.
Also, at some point in time, I don't know if you know this. Well, I'll say this for later. Never mind. Keep going. I
wrote one of my side notes. Stephanie, I don't know if you have anything. One of them says, it might be her dad because she's also an asshole.
You really don't like her, huh?
She's just not. I mean, I'm sure that she'll grow as a person, and that will be a nice arc for her.
Yeah.
But right now, she's just someone should spank her.
Man.
She's someone. Did she? She's been through the same things I have, and I think that's what the problem is.
But you're a dick sometimes, and come on.
And that's fine, but then I shouldn't be allowed to be a superhero. Villain, yes. Hero, no.
Maybe anti-hero.
I can deal with that.
It's the personal growth. No, I mean, she's 15. She's got hormones and stuff, man.
I got it.
It's not even like just me saying female hormones. I'm just saying, in general, teenagers are gonna be dicks.
But the brother, I'm like, I like that kid.
God, he's annoying as shit.
Golly gee.
When he kept trying to steal her pancakes. Not
prison rules. See, it was funny.
Only when you said it. That stupid little shit said I would have beat him up.
Okay, that's fair, I guess.
I mean, so last episode we talked about how Brainwave was gonna figure out who she was, because we didn't see that the ID he had didn't have any information on it.
Whose school ID didn't have a name on it? Like a picture, the picture being messed up, but they always have your name on it.
They had names on them, but hers, for whatever reason, I think is mutated, melted, whatever.
Sure.
But, so they're like, that left the idea that there could be this mystery to it. And then, like, within seconds, they're at the gym, and here is Brainwave and her stupid naivety staring at him and thinking Brainwave, and he's just like, I picked up on that. That's me.
I mean, that happens sometimes.
I really enjoy that they're foreshadowing the fact that his son's going to have powers.
Yeah, I assume that's what that was like. What am I thinking section was. Also, I wrote down, a little side note, I don't like that he's Dr. King.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
We have a Dr. King that's pretty established and is a great guy.
He's a junior.
And this one's a senior.
Maybe it's his son.
Maybe. From an estranged marriage.
From an estranged marriage.
And how do you not look at this guy and say, that guy's a villain?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they're looking up and down that gym. And I'm like, just take a moment to make eye contact with this man. And you, Pat, especially, because Pat's not seen him before, you will know that this guy is clearly evil. He walks around with his hands behind his back and a long black trench coat and glasses, never smiling.
He looks like a discount version of Neil Patrick Harris.
A little bit, yeah.
So, big spoiler alert. Don't watch this if you haven't seen this episode yet. Give it a second.
Who's not seen this episode, like, right away on Tuesday?
All right, now. So the way they fixed her identity getting found out is that she straight up fucking murdered him.
She
put him in a fucking coma. Just like,
she straight takes his soul.
Like, it looked like it melted his brain. I thought, like, Ark of the Covenant. Like,
he was a jack-o'-lantern for like 5 minutes.
He was.
And how do we get this opportunity? We put a flashlight in his eye. Thanks, Pat.
And then for a solid 2 minutes, she had time to get her staff and then suck the life out of it.
It was a scene. I really enjoyed the montage of Pat in the field with his machine, trying to shoot the robot arm.
That little montage of him trying to get it together. Also, he like looks at the fist. Whoever looks down the barrel of a gun ever. That's literally the same equivalent. Me taking a Roman candle and going, are there any more in there? And then flaring off.
It was good though. I like Pat. I like Pat a lot. I think it's a good character.
Owen Wilson plays him so well because he's just playing Owen Wilson, right? Luke, that's right. He's just playing that same character where someone kind of just runs him over and he's like, all right, yeah. The whole gym thing I found really funny. I enjoyed when he got to the fight and he was like, who are you? And he's like unsure about it. Someone looking for justice, I guess.
Also the microphone noise as he pulls it to his face.
I appreciate that he just has an old school microphone that he pulls to him.
Right.
In general.
Also, why is it just not permanently near his face so he can be talking?
Because I assume Pat talks to himself quite often. And Luke Wilson. I assume that they both speak to themselves on a daily.
Stephanie, what thoughts did you have on this as a non-comic book reader?
Did you wish this was you at 15?
I don't know. No.
You go outside and you're like, yeah, throw punches.
I mean, it's a cute show so far. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the story. Kind of annoying when they do things like, oh, that Ted Knight guy built this. That's more on that later, though. Next episode, we'll talk about this.
Maybe next season, maybe? No, what happens is they'll run into somebody and goes, hey, my name's Ted Knight, season 2.
Maybe
And then-
Ted Knight's her actual dad.
I can see that.
Yeah. But then, obvious plot points like Starman is her dad. That's probably why she has all the stuff. And they're like, no way. I have no idea why you have these powers.
Jennifer's also on the track that's her dad. I want it to not be. I would like it to be like maybe just the staff chose. I would like her dad to be a terrible dad. And then be like, hey, Pat's been trying to take care of your punk ass this whole time. And you've been a real dick to him.
Right.
And your real dad doesn't give two shits. But, I mean, easiest route to go would be, and they both, like I said, are just jerks. So it just makes sense that that's her dad.
What if her dad just turns out to be like Joe McHale or something?
So
You murdered your dad in episode 2. Dr. King was your dad, not that Dr. King.
So weirdly, have either of you ever Googled anything about the show? Like, did you do any research about the show before?
Not the show, the character, not the show.
So I didn't, yeah. So I did a little bit on the show, on the character. And then I was actually looking to see all the villains because I could not remember for the life of me who the guy is with the wand that controls weather. And I wanted to say it was, is it Dr. Weather or the Weatherman or something stupid like that. And I can't remember, so I was looking it up, and I came across the picture and the article from Screen Rant, and I feel like it kind of ruins any of the interesting things that could happen. So do yourselves a favor, don't look anything up about it.
Yeah, the beauty of this character is the same that I have with Doctor Strange, where I know nothing, and I'm going in just experiencing what they want me to.
Yeah.
The danger in that is that I'll try to talk like I know, and some guy who reads the comics will be like, no, stupid ass, that's not her actual dad. Her dad was actually this guy, and that guy was a Star Spangled Kid the whole time.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is that we've learned that the cinematic universe doesn't ever have to follow anything that the comic books do.
Right.
I.e. all of things that Marvel does.
Right. So the gym scene, a couple more things I've written down. I like, because it didn't seem like it had very many cuts, and I really enjoyed the camera kind of just going through the people and finding the next person and finding the next person and finding the next person without cutting from camera to camera. That was some good directing, I feel. Also, why would you ever go somewhere, like when you're running away from the guy, why would you go down a hallway with no one? And then why would you not immediately go, someone help, this man's in the hallway trying to get me? And then that guy just goes to jail, and then you're done dealing with Brainwave.
But how else are you going to put him in a star coma?
It's true. Star coma for life. Maybe.
Still, I'm shook on that, man. I don't know how to feel about how we had our superhero character within the first 2 episodes just take a staff and stab a man in the head.
Episode 2. His head was sizzling.
Yeah,
I
when it
mean,
was done like it. Yeah.
The son has to come into his own power somehow. So the son's going to figure it out
Maybe
and then go after her.
Maybe they'll talk to each other in their brains.
Oh, yeah, because he's in a coma, but maybe his brain's still active.
In his dream movies.
Yeah. Brainwave.
We saw Grundy again. Oh, more.
Yeah,
Grundy,
that was the most
please.
exciting thing at the end of it is Solomon Grundy, who we've now called in. We've gotten him off the bench, and we're going to bring him in.
I don't think we called him in so much as he's just been in that cage this whole time.
He's ready, though.
Yeah, he is ready.
I'm not a fan of this icicle.
And then he froze the TV, and I was like, hey, man, shit's not cheap.
Move.
Right? Nobody was affected by that but you.
And then it made sure that we knew who he was, because when he spoke, there was frost in his breath.
Right,
Like,
that was all you needed.
That's the guy.
You didn't need to freeze the TV.
He was so angry.
You only needed the breath to be like, oh, that's who you are.
He
But
was
like,
so
I
angry.
feel like we saw him in the first one, in the first episode, kill people. So,
We
like,
know what you're
there
about.
was no need for you to show me who you were. I know what you're about.
We know you got it in you. You can settle down.
Dr. Weather, I think is his name. Anyways, but
I
yeah,
think that's
no,
a problem. I think this show is directed at a younger audience, so they need the more obvious clues as to who people are, and
I
not the
guess
subtle ones.
compared to the other ones, and I would only say that because it's a younger main character that might be the case. Because I
Yeah.
feel like Arrow wasn't like age based, or Flash wasn't necessarily age based.
No, this one
Supergirl,
just
I feel
feels
like
younger.
was gender based because they gave me no action in all love story, and I don't watch Supergirl for that.
Oh, I never saw Supergirl, so
you watch it for the romantic love between her and
I
the
do
horse.
between her and this photographer guy.
Not the horse.
We're
Where did they leave that out?
not going to talk about the horse. I need them to bring it up once. Go, hey, I used to date that guy. Like as it gallops by.
Um, so are you still hopeful for the season? Did this improve your opinion so far?
I'm interested. I'm more positive than negative on this one. I am again still interested to see when you rope it into the Flash verse.
I
But
think we're getting there.
I will tell you, they're supposed to come out with a Superman and Lois, and if I had to watch one of them, I would probably watch Superman and Lois over this
Over
one.
Stargirl.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that we're gonna have a Runaways level conspiracy thing where like how their parents were all getting together to
Yeah.
like destroy things, and I feel like there's something cataclysmic that's gonna happen, which will then draw
I could see
in
that.
Flash and potentially Supergirl. Stephanie, how are you feeling?
Predictions?
Are you more hopeful, less hopeful, still enjoying it?
it's about the same. I wasn't as negative
Before,
feeling about it as Clee was. It feels like it's going towards a younger audience liking it, but it's okay.
Because maybe I'm just, it's definitely. I mean, the CW kind of has a not necessarily cheesy, but like it's definitely a certain tone.
Yeah.
Because it's like fucking antenna on a TV cable. Like you have to follow some guidelines. But I did see them put somebody into a light coma. So if that doesn't haunt a kid, I don't know what will.
Quickly. It looked like she was stealing his soul.
She didn't
And
care.
just like, what do we do with him? And then they're in the hospital.
She was like, what if he's dead? And he's like, it's fine.
I'm looking forward to the development of a superhero, especially them being a child. I think that'll be interesting. I think this is a good step in the right direction for bringing us characters that we're not used to seeing.
Agreed.
I'm like super excited. I think that there's going to be superheroes from the DC universe that are going to be brought to light that we don't necessarily get to talk about. And I think that is a good positive for the comic book community.
I think that's why I like these CW shows more, because there's a lot of characters that I didn't know existed until they put them in Arrow and Flash and Stargirl's getting her own show, and Black Lightning I didn't know much about, but I also don't know how that lines up with the actual comic. All right, final thoughts around the board.
I'm hopeful for the future of this show. I'm not going to make any more predictions based on the article I just saw, which pisses me off. So
you're gonna ruin shit. Okay, Steph.
I am hopeful. I hope that Starman isn't her dad. I hope it's a more exciting story than obvious. After you said the brainwave thing with her son, I'm pretty sure that's just what's going to happen now. Brainwave is going to talk to his son and tell him who Stargirl is, and then he's going to go after her, and that's how he's going to discover his powers and become an evil villain.
I can see all that. I'm curious. We emphasized a lot on the principal's son. I wonder if that's just comical or if that's going to lead to something as well. The name doesn't strike any familiarity with me, but yeah, no, I think the show's going well. I think we're on a good track.
The principal's the one that was also a villain, though. Oh no, it was senator or mayor or whatever.
I did find out on accident that the gym teacher that gave her the dirty stare in the first episode is someone also.
I'd assume anybody in a position of power is a part of the Injustice Society.
But like, why are you a gym teacher?
You know.
What if we
Real
find out that her
information.
mom is some sort of villain? That'd be fun.
Or a stripper.
She does usually play one of those characters.
But yeah, no, I'm hopeful for the future.
Yes.
That's where I'm at on this.
I am too. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. You can email us at friendship.supreme@gmail.com. You can hit us up on our social media. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter. They are all Friendship Supreme, except Twitter. Twitter has no eyes, no bird friendship because all eyes are on our YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com and you just search Friendship Supreme. We also have a Patreon. Michael, what tiers within the Patreon can they sign up for?
We have all kinds of tiers, as low as $1. You can just throw us $1 if you like our content and want to help us keep making more. We're putting out content once a week. If you donate $5 or more, there is additional exclusive content that you guys can get.
Sign up for our tiers and it will dry my tears. I've been Cleve.
I've been Michael.
This is Stephanie.
Light coma. All right, that's it.